now, so you can get the link and put it out there.
Okay.
And I can't really do that without messing up the layout entirely. So,
No, I
yeah.
got you. Yeah, I'm just looking. Hasn't doesn't show yet. There we go. Now so
Are you
you can get
seeing it?
I do see it. And
All right,
I
good.
will let's see. We'll edit
I got
and
it too.
the link to join. Okay. Alrighty. I
Alrighty.
think we are ready to start.
Indeed, we do be ready to start. So let's get it going.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to episode 13 of Football for Fun. I am Depressed the Texans fan.
I'm Delusional the Panthers fan. How's it going, y'all?
How's it going? Thank you so much for being here. If you happen to be here already, and we do have some stuff to cover, even though it is a dead news, kind of time. There's still some news like about like the schedule release and things like that, which the official release is happening tonight, but there have been some games that have been leaked or announced, and so we will react to that. A lot of interesting sort of anecdotes from those, just schedule releases. So if you want to hear our thoughts on that, feel free to stay tuned. But
Mm-hmm.
today we have another tier list prepared, which is predicting division winners, right?
That's right. We'll predict all the division winners. You should actually be able to see the categories we have here. So we'll have 8 division winners go in the division winners category. Shocking, right? We'll have the second place teams go in the runners up category. Third place teams are meh, because honestly, who remembers the third place teams? And then we have the last place teams going in literal garbage, because congratulations, you are literal garbage if you're last place in your division. That comes from a Panthers
Yeah,
fan, so take
definitely.
that lightly.
Yeah, for sure. I do have actually one suggestion. Maybe I should have done this before we recorded, but do you
Probably.
want to make do you want do you want to edit the or either edit or just make it new tier for like wild card teams? Like just change runner up to like wild card teams. That might be more efficient, if we're predicting playoffs. I mean, it's up to you. It doesn't really matter to me.
Okay, wild card teams question mark. How about that? Because when in doubt,
Yeah.
add a question mark.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll work.
Very, very
All
okay.
right.
All right. So pretty self-explanatory. We have okay, so you just replaced it. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we got division winners, wild card teams, and then we'll just kind of divide the rest of the teams by meh or garbage. So
pretty much.
with
So
that,
it's very straightforward. But we'll do it one division at a time. I think that'd be the simplest thing to do.
okay, that's probably fine. Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah. So maybe start off
All right.
simple with the AFC South, because I think we both know how that's gonna play out at the top at least. I mean,
Yes.
there's no debate. Jacksonville is
You
the
know, no
clear
Texans at
favorite.
top. We can put everyone else in literal garbage. How about
Uh huh.
that?
No bias, right? I know
Um,
we gotta be objective here. Unfortunately, it's
so
pain being objective.
yeah. So here's what I would do, just being objective. Because I know we had some division about that when we were doing the power rankings. Not Jacksonville, but just ranking the other teams.
Right.
Obviously, I put Jacksonville division winners. I think you can put that there if you haven't already.
Yeah, we're
Um,
definitely gonna say Jacksonville wins. They only team with a legitimate quarterback and weapons and a coach and maybe even a defense now. Who
yeah.
knows?
Now here's what I would do, and you may not agree with this. I would put the Titans in meh, and then Colts and Texans in literal garbage. That's what I would do.
All right, all right. Let me think on that one. Let
Yeah.
me think on that one, because I think there's a chance they all end up being absolute garbage. But I think the Texans, at least, they're going to be one of those teams where, with the young core, the rookies that are learning and getting better as the season goes along, they'll be able to steal a couple of wins as we go along. It might be
Yeah.
a slow start, but it'll be sort of like Miami a couple seasons ago, when it seemed like they were tanking for Tua.
Mhm.
They were terrible, on pace to be one of the worst teams in NFL history, some said. And then as we progressed, we saw them fight hard, pick up some wins, and I think we could see something similar in Houston. So I wouldn't be surprised if they could be like a sneaky wild card team if they get it together. And I guess the same could be said for the Colts. I think when you have a rookie quarterback, it's really hard to project that. But if they come in and immediately impact the team in a positive way, who knows? Like the ceiling is super high. So I think I would put the Colts and Texans in meh for this sake, because I think they both have chances to, if the rookie quarterbacks are good. The Titans, I've given up hope for them.
Yeah.
Because Titans aren't going to start their rookie immediately. They're going to wait it out with Ryan Tannehill and then probably insert Will Levis at some point. And you know how I feel about Levis. I think he's going to be absolute garbage. But to each their own. So yeah, if I had to predict the standings, I actually would say the Titans place last in that division. Colts third.
So what if
Texans second?
What if we meet in the middle? We put Texans at meh, and then we put Titans and Colts at garbage.
That works for me, honestly.
Yeah.
That's cool with me. I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams finish with the first overall pick. It would not surprise me.
It is interesting that we're predicting Texans to be second place in the AFC South. You know, now if you're second place at 6-11, that's not very impressive. Or is that 6-11? Yeah. So 17. Yeah. So, but you know, it's a pretty garbage division. I mean, for all we know, like it could be a very good division, but probably won't be. So
I mean, dude, genuinely, I like the Texans roster better than the Titans roster. The only reason I think there should be any debate is because Mike Vrabel is an outstanding coach. Like that's all there is for me.
Also, they do have Derrick Henry. I know he's getting older, but if he just has like one more season of being able to carry them, then like that could make
right. But the offensive line in Tennessee has completely fallen apart this offseason. They drafted one in the draft. I mean, they drafted a
Derrick
tackle.
Henry rushes for 2,000 yards, and who cares about the O line? He'll just
if he gets 2,000 yards behind that offensive line, like just put him in the Hall of Fame immediately, even while he's playing. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. So we got that. Very interesting if you happen to be tuning in. What's up,
or
Chess
watching
Kid?
after.
Panther
I had the greatest name suggestion. Terrible. Yes, responding to chat at the same time. We are so good at this.
Yeah. So what? Wait, were we supposed to ignore chat?
Yeah. What else would we do?
Where are we streaming then?
Because I don't. Why are we doing this? This was a bad idea. I blame you, not me. I had nothing to do with this. I'm delusional, remember?
Okay, so which division shall we tackle next?
Oh, do we want to stay in the AFC and just finish up there, or do we want to hop over to the NFC and then just go back and forth?
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. Yeah, just name the division and then we can tackle that. No pun intended.
No pun with tackle. How about AFC West? I feel like that one could be pretty straightforward. I mean, it's just Chiefs, Chargers, and then decide between the Broncos and Raiders for third place.
Yeah. So, as I've always said, death, taxes, and Chiefs win the AFC West. I even said that last year when all the other teams were so overhyped, but it was like, nope, Chiefs are winning. Give them the hat and t-shirts. So we can put Chiefs and division winners very safely.
I think second tier, we can put the Chargers here. Runners-up, wildcard teams.
Yeah, I mean, the question would be, like, do you see the Chargers as a wildcard team?
They made it last year, and they should be a little better this year. So they got a good shot to go back to the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll definitely be in the hunt 1,000%.
Right. I mean, the AFC is so stacked, it wouldn't be a huge surprise if they were one of the teams on the outside looking in, as they were 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue. Now, I know I made fun of you for hating on Brandon Staley, but I do agree. Like, if they had a more competent coach, you could argue that they're, like, Super Bowl contenders. Like, they probably wouldn't
win. And if they weren't the Chargers, there's also that factor. They're the Chargers. It's sort of like the Browns being the Browns.
I don't know. I think the Chargers...
They're cursed, man. They're cursed.
First?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
They always choke, you know? They always have a stacked team.
It's like the Cowboys. They choke in the playoffs. Because like they had a bunch of successful years with Phillip Rivers. Whereas the Browns, they just lose. they lose regular season games.
This is true. This is true.
I
I would
mean, I
still say
get
they were
your
kind of
idea. I think
cursed.
it's more closer to like a Cowboys and like, nice the Cowboys aren't division winners necessarily because of the Eagles, but they win the division, then like no one takes them seriously in the playoffs. I see what you're saying.
Mhm. It's just
So yeah.
it's what surrounds them based on the reputation they've earned.
Yeah. So as far as like exactly. So as far as like Broncos and Raiders, if it were me,
I'd put them both in meh, honestly.
yeah, I even thought about Raiders and garbage. I definitely think Broncos and meh. I think we agree on that for sure. And like, I mean, if Sean Payton does like resurrect Russell Wilson's career, they could be a runner-up for a wild card.
They could be a wild card contender for sure.
I think it's a good balance because last year they were garbage, and so like we could just put them a level up because of Sean Payton.
Hmm.
And honestly, I
But
don't
the
have. I mean,
Raiders are more interesting here.
I really like. You could put them in meh. You could put them in garbage. I don't really.
Honestly, they got 7 wins last year, and I think
Oh,
they got
did
better
they?
this offseason. Yeah, they went 7-10
Okay.
last offseason or last season. Yeah.
Okay, that did actually. For some
They,
reason
they
I
have a
thought they.
leading rusher. They have Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, they have good players. They have Devonte Adams.
They got
have
Devontae
like
Adams, top 5
Max
receiver in the
Crosby,
league.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Exactly, and they had a pretty good draft as well. I mean, they got
Yeah.
arguably the best tight end in the second round in a very loaded and stacked tight end draft class.
Who did they take again?
Michael Mayer.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the case. Yeah, I think for some reason I had in my head that they were like some 4-win team. But yeah, I think I even said last episode.
It's
that
just
they-
because Josh McDaniels is the coach and Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback, but I don't even think that's a terrible pairing, honestly.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But
They're
yeah, I would
probably about the same as they were last season. Is where I have it.
Yeah. It's fair.
So what are we thinking? They go in meh?
Yeah, I'm
All
totally
right.
fine.
Yeah, they shouldn't be garbage, but then again, like they did lose to Jeff Saturday last season, so anything is possible.
And they lost to Baker Mayfield with like 12 hours to learn the playbook.
They did do that. They did do that.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, good stuff so far. Jags and Chiefs winning the division. I don't think anyone is going to dispute that. I mean, these are very safe and easy selections to make. Chargers being a wild card team seems pretty fair. No one's going to be too surprised by that. Probably the only debatable thing we have so far is like the AFC South bottom 3 teams, where exactly those 3 teams belong. So
Yeah.
we won't know for
Now,
a
just
while.
for fun, let me ask you a little like just kind of thought-provoking question.
Oh boy, I hate
Whose
those.
division win, whose inevitable division win is more convincing? The Chiefs or the Jags?
More convincing, as in like the gap between the first.
Like
and
who's
second
like
place
less
teams?
likely? Yeah. So like who's like I guess who's like less likely to like choke, like somehow not win the division, I guess.
I think the Jags are more of a lock than the Chiefs, in my opinion, just because the Chiefs do have a very talented Chargers team to deal with, plus the potential of the Broncos
Yeah.
being good again. The Jags don't realistically have to worry about anybody in the AFC South unless the injury bug strikes real hard. Even if they had a backup quarterback in, I think I'd still take them to win that division.
Okay, that's interesting. I
Depending
would
on the
probably
backup, I
agree.
should say, depending on the backup.
Yeah, that's true. I would probably agree. I actually don't think the gap though is that close. Because like if any of the 3 rookies, Richardson, Stroud, or yes, Will Levis, if any of them 3 pop, then that team's gonna be a threat. Maybe not Houston, but like if Richardson pops, then Colts are gonna be a threat. If Levis
No,
somehow
I would agree with that. I mean, I was saying the same thing. Like that was my argument for the Texans being in meh, and then I mentioned it about Richardson too. But like, if the rookie comes in and impacts them immediately, they could challenge for the division. But I just think you'd need that. Plus, you'd also need like an injury to Trevor Lawrence or something like that, because Lawrence is already
I
like
mean,
he's up there
you
in the quarterback
could-
rankings, top 10.
you could see Lawrence having a little bit of a down year. Like they go 9-8. He has a decent season, but they don't like. I think Trevor Lawrence could be healthy for all 17 games, and it's like, it's as close to guaranteed as it gets. But yeah, I think
don't
it's
know.
just
He's a generational talent, man. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he takes another step and he's putting up MVP numbers, wins MVP even. Like, I would not be shocked if that happened.
yeah, I wouldn't either. Yeah, but also just gotta keep in mind Chiefs, haven't they won the division for like literally a decade at this point? Maybe a little bit
It
less,
feels
but
like it. I don't know how
yeah, I
long
guess they do have the
exactly.
chart. I guess if you also do have to factor in like if Sean Payton does resurrect Russell Wilson, they'd probably be more of a legitimate threat than like a rookie going off. And then
Right.
Chargers
That is what I'm
threat.
thinking.
Yeah, and then like Raiders, I don't really see how they could be a threat. I mean, they could be a
I
threat
mean,
on a
Jimmy
given
G. Hey,
on
Jimmy
a
G is a winner, man. If he keeps winning
I think
in
I see them as
Vegas.
a threat on like a given game. Like I could see like if week 4 Chiefs versus Raiders on Monday night. That's not necessarily the pairing. I'm just saying in general. Like
Right.
they could like win a one-off game against the Chiefs, but I don't see them as a threat unless like
It's
Mahomes gets.
basically the same as they are every single season.
Uh huh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so
we're in agreement there.
yeah, I think we are definitely in agreement there. So,
All right. Next division.
oh yeah, let's go for it.
All right. Let's see. Let's go AFC East. I know we got some Patriots fans who are eager to see
Yep.
me put the Patriots in
Shout
last
out.
place here.
Shout out to you all. So first place is where we might have some
Yeah,
disputes.
I think third and fourth we agree it's going to be the Jets and Patriots.
Yes. Yeah,
I
it is
would
a
put the
little bit hard
Patriots
to
in
put.
meh.
It's kind of hard to put the Jets in third, but I would, yeah. Jets probably yeah, Jets third, Patriots fourth.
Yeah.
As far as like where exactly, like I probably would put the sorry, were you saying something earlier about Met or something like that?
Yeah, I would put the Patriots in meh, and I would put the
Uh-huh.
Jets in wild card teams.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought as well. I would agree with that.
And the Jets were almost a wild card team last season with Zach Wilson, Mike White, Joe Flacco.
Exactly.
So Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers should make them a contender at the very least for a wild
they
card
totally
spot.
should be. I mean, yeah, they have some good receivers. They have a decent running game. They have like a good defense. So, yeah,
Right. They're very, very good all around team, just
they could
aside from
totally
the
miss the
quarterback
playoffs,
position.
especially they could totally miss the playoffs, especially in that division. But I'd be shocked if they're not contending for it. Like,
Exactly.
it'd be
Exactly.
because even like on a depleted Packers team, like they went 8-9, and we're just one game away from making the playoffs. So like on an improved roster, yeah, we shall see how that goes. But yeah, there's a little bit of conflict of interest as far as the first place team goes because somehow Tua is better than Josh Allen. I don't know who would have ever said that, but um, that's the case apparently.
All
So
right. Well, let's get to it then. The teams
state,
split the series last season. The Bills did beat the Dolphins in the playoffs, but it was a pretty
yeah, but
close
they
game
had
with
Skylar
their
Thompson.
backup
I don't really
quarterback.
like count. I don't really put that against him necessarily.
Right, but it was a close game. It came down to the very end. Like Miami
Uh-huh.
still had a chance at the end with Skylar Thompson, the third string quarterback.
Yeah,
I think
that
he
was
was
a
the third string.
surprisingly close game.
Right,
I
exactly.
think
And
really,
Miami got better this offseason. Did Buffalo?
I mean, who did Miami add? Oh, they did add Jalen Ramsey.
They got
That's true.
Jalen Ramsey.
They do
They
have
got
Vic
Vic
Fangio.
Fangio. Like the defense should be way better than it was last season.
Yeah,
And
here's
plus
where I
they got Bradley Chubb like late season last year, didn't
yeah,
they?
right. That's true.
Give him
Here's
time to
where I'm
learn the playbook.
here's where I'm gonna go in, and this is assuming we're predictive. So I think if you're being predictive, you have to assume that Tua's gonna be injured at some point, and because of that, unless you believe in like, is it Mike White their backup? So
Yeah,
like,
Mike White is the
unless you
backup.
believe that he could like fill into his shoes, like and if you're predicting to it be healthy all 17 games, then you have my blessing, but that's a pretty bold prediction.
Well, here's another prediction. I don't think Josh Allen is going to be healthy for all 17 games either.
Excuse me, does Josh Allen have an injury history?
No, I'm just convinced his playing style is going to get to him at some point. Like Cam Newton is just like Cam Newton. I'm seeing the same thing. I don't know. I could be way off here. It's just what I think. He's gonna take some hits.
Let
He's gonna
me
sit out some games. Nothing crazy or anything.
This is the
Yeah,
AFC East, right?
East. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Bills won it by 4 games. Bills were 13 wins, Dolphins were 9.
This is true, but who was leading it before Tua's injury?
Eh. Wait, when were the Dolphins leading? like
They
week
were
2.
8-3 after 11 games.
And let's see what the Bills' record was then.
They were a game behind. I'm fairly certain, 7-4, something like that, or maybe they were tied.
Okay, I think if you really want to make that argument, then context is going to be key.
For sure.
Also,
for sure.
the Bills didn't get to play the Bengals, so they could easily be 14-3. Now I know that's a tough game, but like,
And they lost to the Bengals in the playoffs, so like
so sorry. Dolphins started 8-2. Is that correct?
I was thinking 8-3. I don't know if they were 8-2.
Yeah, Bills were also 8-3. Let me see.
Oh, and Miami won the first game in that series. I think maybe that's why they had the division lead.
That's probably the
I
case.
know they were
Then-
leading the division.
So there's this losing streak, but I assume that's like to health stuff.
Yep,
They were
that was
actually
around the
pretty-
time he got injured.
I mean, I'm just gonna die on this hill saying that like you're crazy to think if Tua plays all 17 games, or if you think that like
I'm going on record. I never said he'd play all 17 games though.
yeah, but like he has an injury history and Josh Allen doesn't. So
Yet.
why don't we do this? Let's make a deal. We'll make a little pact. So there's also conflict of interest in the Lions division. So if we let the Bills win the division, you can let the Lions win the division.
Are you saying you're not going to have the Lions win that division?
It's close, but I like the Vikings
right.
better. Even if they regress, I think that they probably take it by a game or so.
All right, we'll get to that then.
Deal?
I don't want to make any deals like that yet. We can debate the NFC North later.
Okay.
Bills and Miami. We'll just say Buffalo wins the division though,
Okay.
and we'll say Miami's a wild card team. But I am resting firm on this. I believe Miami is going to win this division.
I see the cringe.
Look, it's not that Buffalo's bad or anything, but like I'm still salty that I picked them to win the Super Bowl last year, and they let me down like, massively in the playoffs. But I genuinely like Miami's roster, or not roster overall, but I like their chances in that division better than Buffalo's. The schedule is also going to be easier for them, and that's another factor for me as well.
No, and I see what you're saying. I agree. Like, I'm not hating on them like I hate on the Lions, even though I don't really hate on them. I just think they're a little overhyped. But I just think that, like, now if Tua is healthy for all 17 games, it's still a toss-up, but I would be able to go either way. I just think the health is just like,
Well, I think after the scares last season, they're also going to be a lot more careful with him. Like if he takes a hard hit and he's in concussion protocol, they're not going to rush him back like they did last year. They're going to let him rest a couple games, and then he'll come back and be fine.
A lot, yeah.
And we'll have the usual Mike White game, and this time they'll win it. He's going to come in and have a couple of big games because that's what he does.
Yeah, it's a couple. Okay.
Before he falls apart.
So we've made a compromise. As far as that goes,
agree to disagree on that one.
Yep. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind, but I just don't really see it. But okay,
we shall see. Now for the AFC North, probably the most competitive division there is.
Oh yes, that's Ravens and them. Okay.
Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, and Browns. Any of those four teams could realistically find a path to winning this.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I do think Bengals are favorite, but the gap is not as big as like some of the other teams like Chiefs and Chargers. Not Chargers, Jags. Yeah. Bengals probably would. Do you agree with that? I assume.
Yeah, right now I would still give it to the Bengals. If Lamar stays healthy, and he could, and the receiver stays healthy, running back stays healthy, then you could make a really strong argument for the Ravens, and I would buy into that. Interestingly, I don't feel the same way about the injury thing in Baltimore as I do with Miami, because Baltimore is like, they do this every year, right? The whole team is just riddled with injuries. All their best key players, the guys they rely on the most, like receiver, running back, even quarterback, they're always injured, and always affects them in a bad way. So it's really tough to be confident saying the Ravens are going to top the Bengals, especially when the Bengals are clearly a Super Bowl contender again.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'd say division winner is going to be Cincinnati for sure. As of now.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. So yeah, Cincinnati wins the division. So
I
Baltimore
think we
probably
both
is wild
agree
card.
Cleveland gets last in the division, right? Unless we're
Who are
about to bank
the
on
Steelers? Yeah, yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
like the
would.
Steelers better than the Browns.
Yeah, it's close, honestly, if Deshaun like goes back to his his former self, but I would take the Steelers over Browns. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'd put the Browns in meh. How about you?
I'd agree with that. Yeah. Cause I do see a world where Deshaun like is good again, and then the
Hmm.
Browns are just contenders, but I wouldn't like just like with the Broncos, I just wouldn't assume it.
Yeah, Browns and Broncos are in the same boat here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would put the Ravens and the Steelers in the runners-up slash wild card teams category. The Ravens are
Yeah.
probably the top
Um
challenge to the Bengals in that division, unless Kenny Pickett takes a huge leap forward for the Steelers, which is possible. But I think both of these teams are going to be in the hunt because the Steelers, they got Mike Tomlin, which means they're going to have at least 9 wins or 8 wins and a tie. They refuse to have a losing
yeah.
record, which means they're
No, I like
probably going to
that.
be in the hunt for most of the season at least.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
All right, so we can just smoothly put the Ravens here and the Steelers here in the runners-up
Hmm.
wild card team category.
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right, well that was shockingly straightforward and simple. All right, let's
Yep.
let's go over to the NFC East.
Okay.
This one I think might be pretty straightforward. It's just going to be the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders.
Yes, I would agree with the order.
Philly wins
I
the
mean,
division.
Cowboys. The gap between the Eagles and Cowboys is probably closer than most people realize, but
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But they
yeah,
have the better quarterback and the better
right,
weapons, probably the better organization overall. So I
probably.
feel a lot more comfortable saying Philadelphia.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And then Dallas is probably the best team in the NFC that won't win their
Definitely wild
division.
card. Yeah, they're definitely in that tier. That's probably. Yeah, I mean, they could like Dak could get injured and like they go like 7-10 or something, but we would assume that like they win games and get the wild card. No further than that. But yeah,
Right.
and
And then the
then
Giants, I really don't love the Giants like everybody else does. I'm inclined to put them in meh. Like just looking at the
so
roster, I
here's
know what they did last season. It's just
yeah.
ugh. I don't know.
So here's my question though. Is the second tier so this is just it's not like the wild card teams, it's just teams we think could make the wild card? Or is it
Right.
are we actually like because I
Teams
think
we
that's
think that are going to be firmly in the hunt and have really good, realistically good chances to make the playoffs as a wild card
because
team.
like I think if that's the case, then like I think you don't have to predict the Giants to make the playoffs, and I think they'll be in the hunt.
Honestly, it's the NFC, so yeah, probably. I think a
Hmm.
lot of NFC teams are. I guess by that reasoning, a lot of NFC teams are going to belong here. Washington go up there too.
No, I
And then
wouldn't put it.
put them in meh probably.
Yeah, which I mean, if you just wanted to like make that tier just wild card teams, and then if we need to, we could like rearrange it later. That might be like easier. So it's more predictive, but honestly, it doesn't really matter too much
I
to
mean, we're
me.
we're saying our predictions for the division standings anyway.
That's true.
So if people want
Yeah,
to know our predictions, they can listen. I know it's hard to listen to our voices, but you guys can do it, right? Right?
exactly.
All right. Well, the East was pretty straightforward, and the West should be as well. I think
Okay,
I'd
so
still say 49ers, Seahawks, and then toss up between the Rams and Cardinals at the bottom.
yeah, I would assume that the Niners win the division, although they don't have a quarterback, so not like an elite
Uh,
quarterback, but like I think they have a good enough roster to where it's a safe-ish. Could you make a
mhm.
case? The Seahawks did improve.
They did improve a lot, and I could make a case for them to win that division for sure. Um, I'm really tempted to, honestly. Like the gap between them is a lot smaller now, I think. But I'm still inclined to take the
Yeah,
49ers. I think they're still the better overall team. It's just
because
if the
like
quarterback stays healthy, I think they win it.
yeah, because like sorry about that. Um, random call. It's
Those are
so
the
annoying because
best.
like it also went to my computer and it's like it says spam risk, so I would assume it's not something worth answering. But yeah, because I'm just trying to yeah, I would assume the Niners. I would probably have a little bit more faith that Kyle Shanahan's going to work something out, whether it be Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, something like that. Then, like,
Mhm.
Gino not only continue sustain his success, but they like improve vastly. Because, like, I mean, Gino is a good quarterback. I think we all can agree on that. But he is like 33 years old, so like, the odds of him like
Right.
improving tremendously are like, I think he could like sustain it for sure, but I would probably like still. Now I say that if Brock Purdy's hurt, Sam Darnold sucks, and Trey Lance sucks, then
Yeah,
could be
then
different.
Seattle has a really good chance to just take that division.
Yeah, I'd probably put the Niners there, but it could really go either way at this
Yeah,
point.
that's gonna be fun to watch unfold. But I'll put the Niners there, and I'll put Seattle in wild card teams because they should make a wild card at least.
Hmm.
And then Cardinals and Rams, I assume, are both going in literal garbage.
Yeah, I would probably do that.
Yeah, I would favor the Rams slightly more than the Cardinals because they have a proven coaching staff at least, and
Yep.
Cooper Cup, and that might be just about it. I don't know what's going on with Stafford and his injury problems. All
Yeah.
right. How about the NFC South now?
Mm, very fun.
Yes, we had a good debate on this one in the power rankings. Could go any
Hmm.
way. I'm thinking Panthers, Falcons, Saints, and Bucks.
Mm. Panthers, Falcons. Yeah. I mean, it's possible.
Indeed, it is possible. Very
Here,
possible.
here's my deal. Um, I still like literally. I don't have a prediction set for like who's gonna win. So I'm just for now saying like Panthers to make you happy. But
Uh huh.
really,
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to like actually think about it. I will only make one request. So don't put the Bucks in last. It's my only request. Otherwise, I'll
Why?
let you because they're not a last place team.
How are they not a last place team? Baker
They won
Mayfield
the
is their
division last
quarterback.
year. They're the defending
Yeah,
division
with an
champs.
8-9 record with the goat at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady. He's all right.
Tom Brady had them finish one game ahead of all the other teams. That was all he could do.
I mean, I think the Bucks have a better roster than people give them credit for.
They have
I think,
two really, really good receivers and a couple of linemen who are good but get injured.
yeah,
They got some
yeah,
guys in defense, but they have a lot of problems there, which is why they lost a lot of games.
yeah. So,
Hmm. So what's so great about their roster, aside from the receivers?
they have impact players. I mean, do you? I
Aside from
mean,
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who have they got?
they have Antoine Winfield. They have Vita Vea. They have Tristan Wirfs. They have Antoine Winfield. Did I already mention that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could name more players than the Panthers roster, and that's saying
What about the
something.
Saints?
Saints. Yeah, they got enough guys on defense I could name. Plus, they got some good receivers and running back, and they
Hmm.
actually have a quarterback. Come on. We're not gonna say that Baker
Carr?
Midfield is better than Derek Carr, right? Derek Carr is absolutely, absolutely better than Baker Mayfield.
I mean, I could agree with that, but I'm really saying this because and I'm not like going away from my take. I still think they have a better roster than people give them credit for. This is exactly what people were saying about the Seahawks last year. Everyone assumed they were a two-win team, or not everyone necessarily, but like people assumed that, and like,
Well, that's mostly
yeah,
because Geno Smith was their quarterback, and he had never ever done anything in his career, and he was a backup.
I mean, Baker Mayfield, it could be a similar story. You never know, and he's like won a playoff game, so
In Cleveland with a really, really good team.
Have you thought about this? Maybe he just was in a bad situation with Matt Rule. Maybe that was the
We
problem.
gave him a chance to play after we fired Rule, and he was not any better.
Did you actually?
Yeah, he started some games because he came back from his injury, and then the other quarterbacks were getting hurt, of course. So he got another chance to play.
Okay, let me go back to the original part. Who can you name on the Falcons that are good?
On the Falcons,
Yeah.
see, they got Grady Jarrett, AJ Terrell. They got
Grady
Bijan
Jarrett's
Robinson. Grady Jarrett's
Bijan
old.
Robinson's an unproven rookie.
He's supposedly like Saquon
Okay, fine.
Barkley
Bucks have
level
Kalijah
prospect.
Cansey. He's apparently a world beater.
He's okay. Let's see. They got
Okay,
Drake
so
London. They got Kyle
they have
Pitts
Grady-
if they utilize him properly.
Okay, I can get behind that.
They have a top 10 offensive line, I would say. I can't name their linemen because I don't generally
Yeah, I
know the
know.
names of offensive
I think they have
linemen.
Lindstorm, right? Yeah.
That sounds right. That sounds
No, I
right.
can get behind that.
Oh, and they
Who-
signed Jesse Bates at safety.
Okay, that's fair.
They
who's their-
have some players. They can play.
So do the Bucks. I'm not saying
Not
that
as many.
all 22 starters are, Pro Bowlers, but
But they have more weaknesses than these other teams. We want to talk about overestimating teams and saying they're going to be bad, but they actually could be good. We can look at basically any NFC South team because we talk crap about basically all of these teams except the Saints for some reason. Everybody seems to like the Saints and say they're going to win because they have Derek Carr. I don't know about that, but the media does seem to hate on most of the NFC South teams.
so what's your point there? I mean, I agree with that.
I'm saying you can make the same argument that you're making with Tampa, but for any other team, and have a better argument for them because they actually have more talented players.
That is way above my intellectual capacities, but okay.
Did I lose you?
No, I understand what you're saying. Okay, if you want to put the Bucks in last, like I can
do.
get behind that. I just don't know why. Like, do you have like something against that? Why is it that put them in last place and not like it could go either way?
Well, who else am I going to put in last place?
What if I
I
told you
really
the
like the
Bucks-
Falcons.
What
I
if
really
I-
think they're going to contend for the division, and I think the Saints have currently
See,
the best quarterback
who's the
in the
Falcons
division.
quarterback? Who's the Falcons quarterback?
Desmond Ritter. But if he's at least average, the Falcons are probably a favorite in that division, just because the rest of the roster, they have a better overall roster than I think the Saints and the Bucks. Maybe the Panthers. I don't really know.
So we're just assuming that Desmond Ritter is going to be all right.
I'm assuming that he's going to be better than Marcus Mariota was, or at least as good as Marcus Mariota was for them last season, and that got them 7 wins.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like that's pretty fair.
What do you predict the Bucks' record to be? I'm just curious.
Probably about 5 or 6 wins. Not like worse than the league or anything, but just kind of meh.
Yeah.
They won't get the 8 wins they got with Brady. They'll win fewer than that for sure. So around 5 or 6, I would say. Although seeing the schedule tonight is going to help a lot with that. They might have an easy schedule, but being the winner of the NFC South, they're going to have to play all the other NFC winners, and I think a couple of winners from the AFC as well. So they should have a much tougher schedule than the other NFC teams, which is another reason they may just finish last.
Yeah. I can get behind that.
I haven't even mentioned that I really don't think they have a good coach. Same with the Saints, though.
And Falcons.
Actually, I like the Falcons coach just fine. I think Arthur Smith is doing
And why
something good
didn't
there.
they? Well, why didn't he win games with Marcus Mariota?
Because Marcus Mariota is bad. And he did win games. They were supposed to be one of the worst in the league, and they won like 7 games.
Yeah, and they lost 10. That's a lot.
I mean, compared to the 15 many projected them to lose, they'll take that.
Closet Falcons fan. I see.
I still hate the Falcons for sure. I'm
Okay,
just trying to
that's
be
fine.
objective here. I'm trying to give an objective opinion.
Okay, no, you like the Falcons. That's what I got out of this. I can get behind that. I can respect that.
Hey, did I say Falcons are winning? Because I've got Panthers winning this division. I've just put it up on the tier list.
Yeah, but you're so passionate about the Falcons, even more than the Panthers.
I mean, do you want me to argue for the Panthers here? Because I'm just kind of assuming they win the division. I feel like that's a given at this point. I would still say we have the best coaching staff by far in the NFC South. We have the best overall roster, slightly edging out Atlanta, in my opinion. And we probably will have the best quarterback by the season's end. Although I'm not going to make that opinion or that statement right now and say that we currently have the best quarterback because he's a rookie. We don't know. He might be terrible in year one. But I think by the end of the season, he will be the best.
Yeah. No, I can get behind that. I mean, I'm not going to argue against the Panthers. I'm still undecided on who my official prediction is, so we can do that.
All right. Now, as for the categories these teams go in, I would put all three of these teams in meh. Falcons, Saints, Bucks. I don't think
that's
the NFC South. I don't think the South sends two teams to the playoffs.
Okay, I can get behind that.
All right. In that case, I think we are done with the South.
Yep, that seems to be the case.
All right, that was a fun debate. Now we can go on to the NFC North. Another debate.
NFC North.
This is a very close division.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, why don't you take the lead on this one? I tired my voice on all the ranting.
Remember our behind the table deal we had? You know, we don't have to debate. Lions are winning.
Oh no, I passed on that deal. It's cool. That doesn't seem right.
Well, here's the thing. Let me start by asking you this. Not necessarily placement or anything like that. What do you predict the Vikings record to be?
Probably about 9-8, something like that.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
They're gonna lose some of the wins they got last season. Very lucky wins.
I think, because kind of my point behind that was I think we can agree they'll probably have less wins. They'll regress. That's the word I'm looking for. But we don't think they're going to be some 6 or 7 win team, which they have.
Right? No, nobody's saying that.
That was before Justin Jefferson, but they would have seasons where they would have losing seasons or seasons where they had losing records. So my view of this. So I think it's going to be close, and I just like the Vikings a little bit better than the Lions.
And why is that?
Because they have Kirk Cousins, who I would argue is probably better and more experienced than Jared Goff.
He's more experienced, but I'm going to argue the other way. I like Jared Goff better.
Okay, that's fine.
Now.
That's fine. You can argue that.
Justin, right. They're about. Can we level here? They're about the same level right now. They're probably just outside the top 10, or maybe right at number 10, something like that in quarterback rankings. They're around the same level.
Yeah, and I would take Kirk. Although you could argue Jared Goff took him to a Super Bowl. Really, that was Sean McVay. I think most people would probably agree with that. But I get that. They have, I think you have to say now I do respect the Lions receiving core. I think the Vikings receiving core is just better because of Justin Jefferson, and they drafted Jordan Addison, right? And they have.
Yeah, they got the better receiving core.
Yeah, they have another receiver I'm forgetting about.
KJ Osborne.
Yeah. Right. So they have a better running game.
Do they? Do they?
I would assume
because Dalvin Cook is supposedly on the way out soon.
Is he?
According to the latest rumors, yes.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Although Alexander Madison is a quality backup at least.
Yeah, I know Madison's not some world beater, but
this is true.
Yeah,
but the Lions also, I would argue, they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, who is very similar to Alvin Kamara. So, and they have David Montgomery as well. So they got a pretty good running back room.
Okay, that's fair.
Again, it's all three of the points you made so far: quarterback, receiver, running back. I can get behind you saying the Vikings have the better,
basically
the advantage there. But it's not it's a big gap or anything. It's very close. Or closer than
that's what I'm saying. I don't think the Vikings versus Lions is some big gap. I do genuinely think it could go either way. I just trust the Vikings a little bit better than the Lions, which I know is ironic to say given that they had a lot of close games. Trust, should you actually do that? But I also do think that I like Kevin O'Connell better than Dan Campbell. I'm sorry, but I'm being very objective. Dan Campbell. I just like Kevin O'Connell.
Honestly, better. I know nothing about Kevin O'Connell. Even last year, no one was really talking about him while the Vikings were winning all these games.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't get enough credit.
Maybe we
I think
gotta wait and
he's
see how that one plays out.
yeah, he's just like because if
He could
you
be just
really think
another Zach
about it,
Taylor, you know.
what's that?
He could be like the next Zach Taylor. He
Nah,
came he
Zach
came from a
Taylor.
Rams system.
Zach Taylor like sucked his first year.
Right, but
Well,
I'm
if you
even
really
after
think
the
about
Bengals
it,
went to the Super Bowl, people were like, it wasn't Zach Taylor. He's not that good. Like nobody
well,
cares."
okay, this is different because if you really think about it, Kevin O'Connell sort of like resurrected Kirk Cousins' career. Maybe not maybe resurrect is strong, but he made him good.
Eh, I mean, I think he was
But when
already
you
good.
look at
People just don't
statistics,
respect the guy.
I'm willing to say I'm wrong if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins improved.
Probably did
Kirk,
statistically.
yeah, definitely by record, but let's see.
I know
Okay,
Justin Jefferson certainly helps
okay,
that.
actually Kirk did regress by like passer rating at least.
Okay.
Their record improved. Um okay, I'm wrong on that. I just assumed that he improved because of the record, but you
Well, the
know.
record improved because of insane luck, which was helped because Mike Zimmer was no longer the coach.
Yeah. Yeah, actually in like every statistical category except for like win loss basically. Like he threw twice as many interceptions.
Whew.
So yeah, that's actually not necessarily I don't
So
know,
that
I think
argument
like
doesn't quite work.
I mean, again, it could go either way. Like, I still think Kevin O'Connell's a good coach. Because I mean, there is something to be said for like winning all those close games. Like, it comes
There
down to
is, there
coaching.
is, there is.
Yeah.
Now,
So
let me
I
ask
mean,
you this. Let me ask you this real quick, because all your points have been about, most of your points have been about the Vikings having better players on offense. You know, quarterback, running back, receiver, etc. You could also say tight end. I think you left that one off, but they have the better tight
yeah,
end.
they have hockey. Yeah, yeah.
And let me ask you this though: who had the better offense last season?
Offense.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know statistically, but I think you've mentioned that like Lions were like fifth in offense or something like that.
they were
And
top 5 in offense. I don't know about the Vikings. I'm sure they were top 10.
yeah,
But I
and
think
when
they
you say
were below
offense,
the Lions.
is this points per game or
Points per
yards
game.
or how
Points per game.
Okay, so let me just NFL points per game. I assume you're right. I'm just like, just wanna. So
Yeah, I'd be
5.
curious to hear this too.
Detroit was 5, Minnesota was 8, and the gap is like 2
Okay.
points. So it's like
Okay.
about even. But Detroit was better, yeah.
Yeah, despite not having the supposedly better players, they did score more points per game.
Yep.
So I don't know. It seems a bit iffy to say that the Vikings would be better because they have the better offensive players if that doesn't translate to points per game. You know, you can kind of get what I'm saying there.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I just trust him better.
Honestly, it's going to
ultimately
come
what
down to the
he wants.
defense for me, and also the schedule. The Vikings are going to get a better schedule because they got first in that division. The Lions got second.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's something. It's not everything, but it's something.
Well, the Vikings have to play the Eagles. The Lions only have to play the Cowboys, for example. Like that's a better matchup.
Lions could really. No, yeah, Vikings would probably lose to Eagles, but you never know.
Yeah, they should lose to the Eagles, but they did last year. Anything's possible.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it
Um,
comes down to the defense, and neither team had that great of a defense last year. Just kind of leaky. The Lions' defense got much better as the season went on, and then they improved it a lot in
Yeah.
the draft. I don't think the Vikings really did much for their defense.
Yeah,
So
Kirk Cousins
that's where
is
it comes
gonna
down
be
to me. Like the
35.
Lions improved their defense much more than the Vikings did.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why I
Then-
lean Lions at the end of the day.
Yeah, that could definitely happen.
All right.
But Vikings have
Um,
Justin Jefferson.
Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'm telling you, he is going to be a top 5 receiver this year.
He's all right. I mean, he's good, but like, when he dominates the league, I will give you your flowers. Amon St. Brown.
He's going into
he
year
was
3.
young, so he has time. First year 900 yards. Second year 1100. Didn't Justin Jefferson have like 1800 yards or something like that?
Yeah. I'm not saying that Amon-Ra is better than Justin Jefferson or anything. I'm just saying he's also going to be a game changer at wide receiver.
Do you still
1,300
think-
yards.
Do you still think he's better than AJ Brown?
Yes. I like him better than AJ Brown. I can't explain it. I just do. I don't
Okay.
the stats don't even back me up on that one. I'm not even gonna pretend that they do.
Yeah. Okay. So like I can get behind the Lions winning the division. Like, I don't know why you're making me debate this, even though I did say before that I would just allow it for the prediction.
Well,
Like,
because
when I
debating
say
is
that,
fun. Debating is fun.
I'm literally thinking like Vikings 10-7, Lions 9-8, something like that. Or they could even be tied and like somehow the Vikings get like the division. I just like it, and part of it is like historical, which it's not everything, but we say it about the Cowboys, which is that they just haven't won anything in like forever. The Lions haven't.
Mm.
Which again is not necessarily, you know, it shouldn't really be a valid argument, but we say that about the Cowboys and like the Browns and stuff like that. So, you know, I do think there's a good chance that like I think there's a better chance of uh like I do think Jared Goff probably will have a better season than Kirk Cousins because like Kirk Cousins is turning 35 years old and he could like regress
Mm.
any minute at this point. You know, I don't know. I just like Justin Jefferson.
I mean, if your entire argument is Justin Jefferson, I can't easily refute that because Justin Jefferson. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll stick with the Lions in this one. I don't know. What do you think of the Packers and Bears though? Like, do they ever enter the argument here? Because you could see,
For the
Hall of
division
Famer
game.
DJ Moore make Justin Fields an MVP
Um
candidate.
I was just talking about for like division win, right? Could they make an argument?
Yeah, because the Bears improved
Um
a ton this offseason, in my opinion.
yeah, I think like I'd say there's a world where the Bears, like if Justin Fields breaks out and like oh, I need to charge my phone. Excuse me. But sorry, yeah.
Mhm.
If Justin Fields breaks out, there's a world where the Bears like, are contenders. And I was actually thinking about this earlier. I just don't think that Justin Fields is that guy.
No, I'm
Because
with you. I'm with you.
he's like primarily known for running and like that just doesn't sustain in the NFL. Like,
He's essentially what people think Lamar Jackson is.
yeah, exactly. So I just don't see it. Like, honestly, and I understand why the Bears did it, but I would feel better about them if they had just stayed at number one overall and drafted Bryce Young. Like, yes, that might look bad on them, and like they probably get a lot of hate, but you would probably
They'd
agree
receive
with
the
it.
same capital in a trade for Justin Fields anyway.
What's that?
They'd receive probably the same capital in a trade for Justin Fields. Like if they had chosen to trade
If
Fields and
Team
draft
C
Bryce.
just like if Team C feels the way I do, I don't think they'd get that much.
Right, but surely someone out there is like, oh, this is a franchise quarterback.
I mean, probably.
And
Yeah,
it's like teams always have their worries about quarterbacks. Like Bryce Young, he's not tall enough.
yeah. So, yeah, I would. I mean, again, I could see a world where, like, because I mean, there have been quarterbacks that we assumed sucked, but they turned out to be
Mm.
good. Mainly Josh Allen. That's like the main like example, but like, not everyone's
He's a
Josh
rarity
Allen.
too.
Yeah, for every Josh Allen, there's gonna be like,
10 Zach Wilsons.
yeah, Josh Rosen, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so you could see a world where the Bears like make a case, but I don't really see it. And like, I like the Packers to be like some 8 and 9 team to where they're
Absolutely.
probably not really in contention, but they kind of are. They're just kind of lurking. Like, I
Did you
think
see their schedule? Did you see their schedule? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, you're good. I
their schedule
glanced.
leaked out. Like their whole schedule
Yeah,
leaked out.
I saw that.
It
I
looked kind of
glanced at it.
easy.
I saw like the first 2 or 3 games were easy. Like, don't they have the Falcons, Saints, and like someone else?
Yeah, something like that. Like they could very realistically like have a very strong record midway through the season. Like 6-2 isn't that crazy
Yeah. No,
if Jordan
they'll
Love is
probably
just average.
yeah they'll probably lose. They'll probably lose to the Falcons because they're so good, right? But yeah, especially did they finish? They finished third in the division, didn't they?
They did because they lost to the Lions in Week 18 with a playoff
Yeah,
spot on
so
the
they
line.
have.
Clutch
So
Aaron
they should have
Rodgers.
an easier schedule in theory. Yeah. So like, I like the Packers.
But then it
It's
comes down to,
kind
do
of
you believe in Jordan Love?
Yeah, and that's really like the same argument you could make with like liking the Falcons. I think really what it comes down to, and to answer that question, I don't necessarily like believe in him as like some top receiver. Sorry, top quarterback. But I believe in the team. I do believe in Matt LaFleur, even though like apparently Aaron Rodgers carried him. I think Aaron Rodgers was coming off a down year when Matt LaFleur came in. I could be wrong. I know their record was bad. I don't know if like his actual play, but they went. That was when Mike McCarthy was fired.
Yeah, they went from being like 9-8 every year to being 13-3, 13-4 every year.
Yeah, so I do think Matt LaFleur is a good coach. Like I honestly think that like people who assume that he's like a bad coach and that Aaron Rodgers carried him, that's just a casual take in my opinion. Now, is he like as good as his record indicates? Probably not.
Probably not.
I would
Probably
agree
not.
with that. But I think he's a solid coach, like top 15 in the league, I'd say, and like they have a pretty good defense. They have a good running game. They have like some developing receivers. Trying to think if they made anything else. Probably not. So like I think that I don't even think necessarily like Jordan Love is some like world beater, but I do believe like in the scheme, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He'll probably be okay at least, but probably not MVP level. I would expect the Packers to be pretty similar to how they were last season. So 8 or 9 wins seems about right, which in the NFC does put them in the wild card hunt.
Oh yeah,
so
that is true.
I'm gonna say Lions are the division winner, and then I'd put the Vikings and the Packers in the wild card teams. And then the Bears, I would probably still lean towards meh, because I don't think Justin Fields can be just average and still have the rest of the team be good enough for them to be a contender for the wild cards. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he was really flashy last year, and they were putting up numbers, and they still lost out when he was suddenly playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got their wins when he wasn't carrying the offense.
Right. Yeah,
so I would say Bears in meh.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Division winners look pretty good here.
Do we have any other? Do we do all of them?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Pretty good. Okay, so
so Jags, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Eagles, 49ers all repeat as division winners, and then we have the greatest cat teams in the league, the Panthers and Lions, both winning their divisions.
Yep. There we go.
Wild card contenders: Chargers, Jets, Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers, Cowboys, Giants, Seahawks, Vikings, and Packers. Seems pretty fair to me.
Very nice. Yep.
And then Texans, Broncos, Raiders, Patriots, Browns, Commanders, Bucks, Saints, Falcons, and Bears, all pretty meh. And then the Titans, Colts, Rams, and Cardinals are going to be garbage.
Uh-huh. Yep.
This seems pretty fair. Seems pretty fair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone can really look at this and go, "Oh, wow, this is terrible. This makes no sense." Because at least there's good reasoning behind all these rankings.
That would be true. That would indeed be true. Okay, so let me actually ask you something. And I actually didn't really actually this will be very interesting to think about. Not that it would change anything, but here's the thing. Historically, history says that some team is going to go from worst to first. And so that's probably going to happen this season. We're not going to see it coming. So let me give you the teams. Falcons and Saints. Falcons, Saints, and Panthers tied. It's you could say
whoever
Panthers
wins the NFC South is going from worst to first. So Panthers.
The Bucks. I mean, wouldn't, but you never know. Okay, Bears, Cardinals, Commanders, Jets, Broncos, Browns, and Texans.
Okay, the Jets are probably the most likely, just because they're the only team we have here in the wild card tier, right? Of the teams that you named.
That's true. Yeah, I'm trying to look at this.
Could be the Texans if CJ Stroud is special.
I feel like Jets in theory makes sense, but they have an uphill battle. They have
just Dolphins. In the AFC in general is an uphill battle.
Yeah, I mean they do. Here's what I believe here I do have a dark horse contender. Let me just kind of check and make sure. I mean, I feel like my kind of pick would be the Browns. And that's
Okay.
it.
If Deshaun
If Desha-
Watson is Deshaun
yeah, if
Watson
Deshaun
again.
Watson's special, which I do think there's a world where he does like resurrect his career because like
Yeah.
I think people forget, rightfully so. I mean, he's been out of like football for a while, but people
But
forget
he was a top five quarterback.
he was electric. I mean, yeah, top five. You could even argue like top three, maybe like at the
Yeah.
time. And this was before like Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence and like. Now, I
Right.
would say it's more likely than not that the game has sort of like passed him. Like, I think he'll probably be like good, but not like as good as he was. But like he was electric in Houston. Now what's ironic is that his best season he had, which was 2020, his team went like 4-12 or something like that. So even if he plays so well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win games. But I
Well,
don't
the
know. I
Browns
would
have a
just
pretty stacked roster outside of the quarterback position.
They do. Yeah, they do have a pretty good roster. So I would just say, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, just watch out for the Browns.
Yeah, it's possible. Although it's kind of like it's tough to see them passing the Bengals at the top with Joe Burrow and that whole team is so
Yeah,
good.
but
It's tough to see it, and then the Ravens as well. But I guess
I
something we
think
could factor in is the Browns probably will have the easiest schedule out of all the AFC North teams.
that's true.
Last
Yeah,
place
that's
gets
pretty
that right.
true. Yeah. Um, so that'll be fascinating because I don't know when the last time a team didn't there wasn't a team in the league that went from worst to first. Like I actually feel like it happens every year. I could be
It does
mistaken,
seem to.
but
It does seem to.
yeah, so that probably, I mean, who knows? It could not happen, but that's just some food for thought.
Chicago Bears are going to win the NFC North. Justin
Hey,
Fields, DJ Moore, all they need, right?
okay, yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. Don't let me start convincing myself that the Broncos could win it. Like, no. Like
No, the Chiefs are there.
they
No,
no, yeah, they could improve a lot, but they're not going worst to first just because of the
I
Chiefs.
mean, they haven't beaten
Mainly,
the Chiefs head to head in how long? It's been like
well,
16
it's been like
straight
a decade,
games,
right? Yeah.
at least
That's
close to a decade. It's yeah, it's no, it's not happening.
Yep. All right. So, should we react to the schedule release
Yeah,
or
how
not
about it?
the like the games that have been like leaked so far?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm excited about some of them.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of weird because we do know like we in theory know the matchups, if you just look it up, but we don't know like when they're happening. Like we just learned about the kickoff game.
And we don't
Learned
know
about
when the primetime games are. We didn't know that beforehand.
exactly.
That's really what it is
So
for me.
so yeah, what were your impressions of like what's been released on the schedule so far?
Well, so far I'm really loving the choice they made for the season opener because Lions and Chiefs I
Hmm.
think is going to be a ton of fun to watch. I'll definitely
Hmm.
watch that. Yeah, last year's season opener was also supposed to be good, Bills Rams, and then that was a huge letdown because the
Yeah.
Rams ended up being crap. But I'm really excited about Chiefs Lions. My favorite part of the all the scheduling leaks though is going to be Week 2, Panthers hosting the Saints on Monday Night Football. We haven't played Monday Night Football in at least 5 years, so I'm
Yeah,
really excited about that.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh yes, having Bryce
Yeah,
Young, an
definitely.
actual quarterback, really changes things.
Yep. Yeah, I actually do. I know I'm known at this point as a Lions hater. I actually do like the matchup because a lot of people are excited about the Lions, and that's gonna get more eyeballs than like Chiefs Chargers. Although, like, I'm not sure why
Well,
Chiefs
yeah, the
Eagles.
Chargers don't have fans, so there's that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Chiefs Eagles wasn't the matchup. Like, that seems to make sense because I think they play in Kansas City.
Has there ever been like the Super Bowl teams have a rematch after like just
There was
immediately?
at least one
There
year.
was Panthers Broncos, but aside
There
from that, I
was.
don't think that's happened, has it?
I mean, it doesn't always happen because like AFC NFC crossover just doesn't happen that much. So like
Right.
I would think that if there's the chance, you would just do it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But yeah, that surprised me a little bit. But I like it just because like I think the national media is loving the Lions. A lot of people are, and I think it'll get eyeballs, which is good.
I just love it
And
because
yeah,
it's gonna be all offense in that game. It's gonna be fun
uh-huh.
to watch unfold. Two top five
Watch the
offenses.
Watch the Chiefs win like 38-10. I'm just
I would
saying.
be very, very disappointed if that were the case.
I would too, honestly. I would agree that it should be a close game, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so there's that. I think, think one like big piece of news, not even necessarily for like the viewers, but like for the players, is that Jacksonville does get two London games in a row. So,
Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, they play the Falcons in week 4 and then they play the Bills in week 5. And so it's
The
interesting.
London Jaguars. Yep, that's them.
Exactly.
They're totally going to get relocated to London in a couple years, aren't they?
Yeah, that's like it's just exponentially increasing. Soon enough it's going to be all 17 games.
That's going to be great.
Yeah,
Wait, that's not
'cause-
fair. They have the home field advantage every single week? Nah.
Yeah, so like I guess does that count for both of their home games or do both those games count as their home game?
I don't think so. They're playing in different stadiums, actually.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering about like the allocation. Like, are they getting less home game? Like, the
I
games
think they'll do one home and one away, probably.
Okay, hopefully that's the case because like
Yeah, it'd be real unfair if they didn't. And also, there would be outrage on
I
social
know like
media if they didn't.
technically London is their home field advantage, but not really. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I feel like
Trevor
their
Lawrence
home-
is the quarterback for London. That's their guy.
Exactly. Yeah, so I don't know, it's interesting. I feel like if you're the players and coaches, like you're really cringing. Like it just doesn't seem fun. Like
Yeah, feels
okay,
bad. Feels
I mean
bad.
traveling can be fun, and I would even say like if I was on some like high school football team and my team had to travel, I'd probably be excited about it. But if you're like a
Yeah.
professional, especially like a veteran and like a coach, then like you just gotta be like, here we go again. And I assume they just be staying in London, right? They're not like going to go back to the U.S. and then to practice, then go back. Like,
I would assume they just stay in London for the 2 weeks. Yeah, probably.
yeah, which like that's also gotta like hopefully they get a bye after that set of
Yeah, that's
games.
what I was
Like,
gonna say. They better be getting a bye after
their
the 2
body
weeks in
clocks
London.
are really going to be like, especially if you're in London for 2 weeks. Like, I guess
Hmm.
really, yeah, maybe could be more like a week and a half if you like get there right before the game or a couple days.
No, watch
before
them get a Thursday night football game the week they get back.
The NFL is going to get blasted.
That's probably why they'll do it, just to have people talk about it. You could totally see that happening.
Honestly, yeah, I don't think they will because of the public backlash, but I could see that because like,
I hope
yeah,
it
I
doesn't
think,
happen.
like, yeah, I don't either.
Only teams like the Titans deserve that, right? Or the Colts.
It's funny how we're talking about this, and yet the Jags are guaranteed the division. So it's
Right,
like,
exactly.
I
It
guess
doesn't
maybe for
even matter.
seeding, like if they lose out on the 2 seed by like a game, that could be like a problem. But like it's
It'd be
not like it'll
fine.
prevent them from winning the division or anything. So yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. And then another London game, Ravens versus Titans in London. Yeah, I mean,
Meh. Nope.
Next-
Not many people are gonna be happy to watch that.
right. Dolphins versus Chiefs in Germany.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
I think in general that matchup is exciting because of Tyreek Hill versus his former team. It is
exactly.
interesting that Tyreek Hill isn't going to get to play because I think that game would have been an Arrowhead, but I could be mistaken.
No,
so-
you're right. Because some people were very, very disappointed by that.
Yeah, so he's not going to get to return to Arrowhead like next season or this coming season. Apparently, so like
He'll
But
retire
that'll be
before he gets to
pretty-
do that.
yeah. I mean, who knows? Like, if Dolphins win the division, like you're saying, and Chiefs win the division, then they will play again.
They may. They may
Although,
win. They may.
Arrowhead,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that would work, but yeah. So yeah, Colts and Patriots in Germany, very meh. I imagine that's going to be a very boring matchup, unless Anthony Richardson pops, which that would change. But so yeah, another big piece of news was that the first ever Black Friday game, Dolphins versus Jets.
Yeah. Of course, it's gonna be the Jets. Aaron Rodgers got to get 6 primetime games for New York. Big shot.
Yep, exactly.
I really hope they aren't just another version of the Broncos this season. Trade for a big time quarterback and then absolute garbage. Because We don't want to watch that. Like, please don't make us watch
Yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. That would be pretty bad. I don't really, because I feel like, let me just look something up on the spot. Because this, I feel like the season before Russell Wilson wasn't all that good. Oh, his
No,
statistics were
Broncos
actually.
haven't been good for a while.
No, I'm talking about the Seahawks. Russell
Oh,
Wilson on the Seahawks. So no,
no,
yeah,
they weren't.
he did decent. Well, his statistics were actually not bad. He was injured some, but his pass rating was 103. Like Aaron Rodgers was actually not that good last year, or the year he
Mhm.
just played. Um,
Yeah.
he threw like more interceptions than usual. Yeah, his pass rating was 91. So hopefully he just revises or rejuvenates whatever his career
Mhm.
in New York. But one random thing I saw, just someone was pointing out, someone on Instagram or something, was that game on Black Fridays in the afternoon, and the guy was like, "It should be in the evening. It's gonna get more viewers that way." Which, like, I guess you could say that, but honestly, does it really matter? Like,
It'll
people
get
are gonna,
plenty of viewers anyway.
yeah, actually, Black Friday, like, everyone has off work, and like, people are just like lying around, like,
Exactly.
and
If
like,
anything, we need more Black Friday games. That's the argument
exactly,
I would
like, have one
make.
in the afternoon and evening. That would be
Yes,
ideal.
I would
Yeah,
love that. If it was in the evening, then you have
exactly.
to wait all day to watch it. Do you really want to do
Uh
that when
huh.
you have nothing to do?
Yeah. Respond to chat. Um,
What is there to
y'all
respond
didn't
to?
have Monday Night Football because you're bad usually. Where are we supposed to say to that? Like,
I
okay,
already said that having a quarterback who is actually not terrible changes that. So that was my response.
yeah, uh-huh, exactly. So yeah, anything else? There are some Eagles versus Chiefs was announced. Giants at Eagles on Christmas. I feel like
Meh.
that's gonna be disappointing. Yeah. I
Yeah,
feel
probably
like
the Eagles are way
Giants
better
will
than
probably be
them.
crushed. I feel like
We
it's gonna
saw how that
bring
happened last
flashbacks.
year.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna bring flashbacks of Broncos versus Rams on Christmas. The
Probably.
bloodbath that was.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
great
this
to
seems like
watch.
a more high quality matchup, but
Oh, we play the
and
Packers on Christmas Eve. I know that's not prime time, but still, it's a game we play,
yeah,
so I care.
pretty good. Are there any Texans games leaked? Probably not.
I don't think I've seen
As
any Texans games leaked.
literally not. I think we're probably having all noon Sunday noon games.
You'll
So
you'll probably get a like Thursday night football game against the Titans or Jags or something like
so it's
that.
like there's a new rule this year that not every team is necessarily getting prime time. So we might just be booted out of prime time.
That would be
I
sad.
mean, I would not. I mean, maybe some like 4:25 Eastern time games. So I would expect all Sunday afternoon games.
Hmm.
I'd be a little bit surprised if we get a primetime game.
Biggest surprise player this year is going to be Terrace Marshall Jr. when he randomly has 1,000+ yards. Because nobody knows who that is, so
Yeah.
him being a 1,000 yard receiver is going to be shocking.
What is the biggest surprise player this year?
Still alive?
Um,
Not for long. Not for long. I actually got to
yeah,
go in about 10 minutes, so
I got you. Biggest surprise player?
I
Baker
like my
Mayfield.
answer. No. What? Simp.
I mean, that's the point. It's a surprise. Like anyone you say is gonna get that reaction. So
Mm.
who's your answer?
I gave mine Terrace Marshall Jr.
Oh, that's what you said. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna get 1,000 receiving yards, be better than DJ Moore, and nobody knows who Terrace Marshall is, so it'll be a huge surprise.
Yeah, I only do because I'm co-hosting with you.
Yep, and I name drop him from time to time, as I
Yeah,
should.
definitely. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, uh, I don't know. It's hard to think. I'd have to like go by roster and just see like which players are like creeping up. Because
I'm
like
on Ross St. Brown when he leads the league in receiving is gonna be a big surprise.
that would be a big surprise.
I'm
Is
saying that just in jest.
yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat Justin Jefferson, but that would
Yeah,
be a
exactly,
surprise.
exactly. I saw somebody say Jamar Chase was going to have 1,900 yards and lead the league in receiving. Thought that was a pretty bold take.
Who's that? Wait, sorry. What player was this?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's.
You could kind of see
I
it.
think anyone who's not Justin Jefferson would be a bold take.
That's fair. I mean, the Vikings' entire playbook is spam Justin Jefferson. That's literally it.
Yeah, which is why the Vikings rule the North.
Uh-huh. Well,
If
when the
only-
Lions figure out that they should spam Amon-Ra St. Brown,
If
yeah.
only the Lions had Justin Jefferson.
Dude, they'd be Super Bowl contenders.
Exactly.
Unlike the Lions. I'm sorry, unlike the Vikings who do have him.
Also, why are Bucks not division winners? Like, Isaac wouldn't even let me put them in like third place. He like insisted that they're in last
Dude,
place.
you missed the whole debate. You got to go back and watch that. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun debate. I enjoyed that.
He's like he predicts Bucks to go 0-17 and like Falcons.
Okay,
6
that's a lie. That's a lie. No lying here. Yeesh.
But you predict clear last place. That's like
Yeah, like 5-6 wins. I would predict that for the Saints as well.
Falcons
6
go
or 7,
5-6.
7 or 8. They're all in
Yeah,
that 5 to
exactly.
8 win
That's
tier.
like it could be like tied and like they wouldn't necessarily be last place.
They could. I would still pick the Saints and Falcons over the Bucks.
Yeah, but if they have the better tiebreakers, then you can't really do that.
Okay, yeah, okay, fine. If the tiebreakers are in effect, but for that, we got to wait and see the schedules.
Sure.
Hey, come on, that matters. It does matter. Like if you're playing,
I don't want to go
if
back.
you're the
it's
Bucks
worth
and you're
it.
playing the Eagles and then the Vikings and then the 49ers back to back to back, because they're gonna play all of those teams. If you do that, that's a tough 3-game stretch, and you have a 3-game losing streak, and that's gonna tilt you for the whole season.
Yeah, but the Falcons have Desmond Ritter, and the Saints have Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is
Who
the
is-
best quarterback in that division right now.
What's your hot take, Go Celtic? Gonzo will win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Why is that a hot take?
I mean, he's competing against like Will Anderson, although probably not Will Anderson's gonna win. It's actually not that hot of a take. Although
this
I
is the guy that should have gone top 10, and he's playing for Bill Belichick. It shouldn't be a hot take.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily assume it. Like, I feel like Jalen Carter's a bad pick, though. I would think. I wanted to say Jalen Carter, but like, who knows with his legal issues, and also he's gonna be down on the depth chart. So
Yeah, probably not going to be him. No, he'll be more like Jordan Davis was last season.
yeah, true. Okay, is that it? We have anything else we need to talk about?
I got nothing more to say about the schedule. I can't wait to see the whole thing tonight, though. About 4 hours away. Cannot
Yeah.
wait, because I'm planning to go to a home game in Carolina in this season. So I'm waiting to see when they
Nice.
are, where they are. Because ideally, I want to go to the Dallas game. We played Dallas at home, and I got folks who are Dallas fans. So I'm really, really hoping that is played at a good time. So
Yeah.
Although now I
So-
really also want to go to the week 2 game against the Saints, because Monday Night Football, that sounds awesome. I want to do that.
Yeah. Beat the Saints on Monday Night Football. That would be cool. Yeah.
It would be cool.
Just watch the Saints go last, That would be cool.
I would be pleased. I would be happy to take the L in this debate and see the Saints go last. Like, nothing would please me
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with any of those 3 hated rivals going last, but I hate the Saints the most, so I do hope they get last.
Definitely.
All right, well, I got nothing more to add. How about you?
I don't think so. This was a fun episode.
For sure.
Definitely.
I'm loving all the debates. I don't know if they're as enjoyable for you, because I'm very...
I mean, just wait
insistent.
for our fast food tier list
Oh, that is going to be heated for
Dude.
sure.
coming soon
That is going to be heated.
to a computer screen near you.
Oh boy.
Hey, I rhymed, and I didn't even realize that.
Good job.
I'm a poet, and I didn't know it.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right,
well,
Chick-fil-A is the best. We'll go ahead and say that. And yeah, we'll do that in the future. Yep. So
yep.
how about we call it here? I got to get going soon. So
All right.
we shall stop it here. Thank you all for hanging out in the chat. The
All
two
right.
of you.
Yeah.
I think it was just the two of you. Thank you to anyone else who, for whatever reason, is spending their time watching this. Hope you enjoyed. Let us know what you think of our tier list here. Division winners looks pretty good. I don't know about the rest. I think it all looks pretty good. So let us know, and maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Yep.
All right.
Yes,
Be sure to
stay
like,
tuned for
comment,
next-
and subscribe. Next
Yeah.
video coming out in a week.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Fair warning, though. This is probably our last. This is our last live stream until June, right? I think that's what we kind of worked out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I
Probably.
guess.
So the next two episodes, you guys, will probably be pre-recorded. Just a heads up.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. You did say that. Yeah.
Yeah, most likely. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, y'all take care. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, bye.
Bye.